Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We're on the final episode of Skate the Infinity. It has been a journey, right? Right? It has been a journey with this series, and I saw this on Twitter when it first came out. People were talking about Skate the Infinity, and I was like, you know what? We're just going to put it on the poll and see what happens. When we get done with Run with the Wind, we'll just put it on the poll and I'll see what happens. And it won by 3 votes. Those 3 of you that voted for it, thank you. Because I have fallen in love with this show. I really liked it, but last episode, when I've loved Reki's character since episode 1, but last episode when it was kind of like all about him and him realizing like his talents and it all coming together and Langa supporting him and all of his friends supporting him and Adam falling in the mud, like everything came to a head last episode in the best way. And it's still not over. We still have the final. We have Langa versus Adam. And I honestly, a part of me is like, well, Langa's gonna win. But I don't know. So it's exciting because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm kind of bittersweet about this series ending. It's been too short. 12 episodes was too short. It was, to be fair, perfectly paced. Like every episode, there was no filler. There were no slow moments that didn't feel necessary. Everything felt on par and like it was, right where it needed to be. Because sometimes when shows start, they start out slow and it kind of takes a little bit of building up to it. I use Given as an example. I love Given. Given is one of my favorite series and I love it. But the first couple episodes of Given, I remember reacting to them being like, this is good, this is fine. And then like once episode 3 hit, it was like, oh my gosh. But with this series, right from episode 1, it was like, we're going to hook you right now and we're just going to get on this roller coaster and not let up. And it hasn't. And I'm so happy about that. Like, I really, really love this series. And I hope that it has become popular enough in Japan that it warrants getting maybe a movie or a second season. I could watch a whole second season of just Joe and Cherry's backstory. Like, I could do a whole prequel series. And I'm sure we'll talk about this in the live chat. But this is the last episode of Skate. Next week, we are going to listen to the Cindereki Audio Drama. I'm so excited about that. So Cindereki will be next week. And then after that, we'll have our new show. And we'll just chug right along. So it is bittersweet. I'm happy to be watching this final episode so that now I can see all the stuff on Twitter. I've been avoiding spoilers. I've been avoiding spoilers like the Dickens because I don't want to be spoiled about anything. And it's hard once a series ends to have that happen. So I will be excited when I can get on Twitter and not have to worry about spoilers and just be like, show me everything. And there's a cast interview with the voice actors. I've had it saved in my inbox for like so long because I've been waiting to listen to it because I didn't want to listen to it until I was done with the series. So that'll be exciting. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. But yeah, we are going to do a live stream for Skate. I'll have details about that in the Cindereki audio drama. I think if it's not below in the description, it will be on a community post or it'll be with the Cindereki audio description. It'll be one of those two. So just check in the description below here and see if it's there. And if not, it'll be in a community post about when that live stream will be. But yeah, we'll definitely have a chance to talk about Skate the Infinity, to talk about everything left over with it. I'm pretty excited. But guys, I don't know how they're going to end this. Obviously, there's the race, but when we last left off, Adam was it seemed like the Mantis Woman, she was Karada, she was getting a search warrant for him. He's being set up to marry someone. Like, what? Out of nowhere, that's getting set up. Cherry's down for the count. Shadow's down for the count with their injuries. And so it's literally like Joe, Mia, and Reki on the sidelines cheering on Langa. And I guess Cherry was there last episode, so he'll be there too. I don't know if Hiromi will be there or not, but I don't know how this is going to end. I'm really excited. It's 23 minutes. Oh, but thank you all for joining me on this journey. It has been so much fun. And I've not been hyped about a series like this in so long. Like when I watched Banana Fish, I'd get so excited each episode. I'd be like, okay, it's time to sit down and watch Banana Fish. And that's how I've been with this show. And there's other series I'm watching right now that I'm like that too. But Skate is special. There's just something about it that's special, and I really, really love it. So I feel this way about Banana Fish. I feel this way about Free. There's just something about it. I'm getting that way about Bungo Stray Dogs. The last couple episodes of it have been amazing. But yeah, this is it, guys. This is episode 12. So let's see what chaos can go down in the final episode, I wonder. What chaos? We've had love hotels. We've had people smacked in the face with skateboards. What else can they do? So, in any case, as I'm recording this, the English dub for episode 12 is not out yet. But as soon as it is out, I'm sure it'll be out by the time I've done the Cindereki drama. I'm really excited about it. So, let's dive in, guys. We are going to watch episode 12 of Skate the Infinity, titled Our Infinity. How perfect. We're going to watch it here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll see you all on the other side. Oh my god! Oh my god! That was so good! Oh my god! Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Alright. 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 Okay! I'm like, my mouth is hurting because I've smiled so much. This was so damn good. I want to go back because there was so much in this episode. Again, as per the Skate Infinity usual. But, oh my gosh. Oh, I love this. I loved this so, so very much. What a resolution. Like, and here's the thing. I think that there's a lot of things they have totally left open. They've totally left open if they wanted to do a sequel series. They could do a number of different things, but oh my god. Jeez. So, where do we start? Well, let's just go through the episode because oh my god. So, I love this opening of Adam dancing so dramatically and so fast-paced, like he's just like so frustrated, letting out like all his frustrations out on his skateboard. And just like, it's like this parallels the first episode so well. Because in the first episode, he was doing the big conducting movements. And here, it's kind of the same way, like he's doing these quick movements with his hands. And it's very much like a conductor. And only, instead of being like joyful like he was in the first episode, he's like just pissed off. And so mad and frustrated because it's raining. And like I was saying in the OP, someone on Twitter had posted that, and I saw this after watching episode 11, and I didn't quite understand at the time what it was referring to, because I hadn't watched this episode, but now I get what they were referring to. They were like, Tadashi, even though Adam talks a lot in this episode about being betrayed by friends. Like, friends are just there to betray you in the end. And it's very clear. I mean, he could be talking about Joe and Cherry to an extent, but it's very clear that the main person he's talking about is Tadashi. Because it immediately flashes back to the burnt skateboard and Tadashi not speaking up. And so someone on Twitter had posted that, oh, episode 12, is it going to be a wedding? And they're like, no, it's going to be a funeral. And it all ties to this. And they were saying that since Tadashi forfeited his round against Snow, that essentially it was like another betrayal to Adam. And I talked a little bit about this last episode. It's like another betrayal. Like Adam had wanted, because when Tadashi came up to stop him, because when Adam was going towards Langa last episode, like after the beef, Joe stood between him and Langa stood between Reki, is what I meant. And then Tadashi comes up to him and he goes, I'll deal with you next. Like he was expecting Tadashi to win against Langa. And so part of me is like, was Adam expecting Tadashi to be his final opponent? And that was going to be, them two facing each other. And so when Tadashi forfeit the round, it was like another betrayal to Adam. He's like, oh, you're just going to leave me alone too, right? And that's when he said, like, I'm the only one in my world, but soon I'm going to take Langa with me. And it's like, And I love that he shows up at this tailor's shop that clearly this guy is probably one that does his suits for him. And it's just like the wind blowing and he's like wet and nasty. And he's like, the door And he's like, I need you to tailor me an outfit now. And he's like, sir, unfortunately we only have suits. And he's like, a day of once-in-a-lifetime importance. Only proper to be in full dress. And they're like, oh, is it a wedding? No. It isn't. And then we don't get to see what it is, but it's clearly a funeral. And it's like, and the guy's like, oh my God, this man, what even? How extra. I cannot wait to watch the English dub of this episode and to see David Wald. David Wald has been so amazing as Adam this season, and I just want to see how dramatic he gets for it, because this is the most extra thing possible. It was goth, it was over the top. That tailored suit, I'm sorry, with the backless heart and the rib cage and the Grim Reaper themes. Like, here's the thing. Here's the best part about it. Tadashi had to drive him to the race. So, I just want to see, like, a behind the scenes, even if it was just the creators doing a little short comic of Tadashi opening up the door and seeing Adam walk out. Maybe Adam just had the cloak on. Maybe he just had the cloak. But seeing him walk out in this skin-tight leather outfit that's backless with the blue heart, and him being like, so we're doing this. Amazing. Amazing. And oh my gosh, Ranga. I just, oh my God, the power of Reki and Langa cannot be contained in this episode, and I'm so happy. I love the idea that Reki questions. He's like, why do you think Adam's skating? And Langa's like, he said he was all by himself, so why would he skate? And Reki's like, well, why everybody else skates, because it's fun. And Langa doesn't seem quite as convinced that that's the case. But I like that Shadow got to go to the beef and that he's in full makeup. I love that. I really do. The whole thing with the search warrant, man, just shutting him out, just shutting her out. We'll get to that. But I like that Joe had to ride his motorcycle. He didn't ride in the car with Cherry and them, but which, granted, there wasn't really a lot of room anyway. He could have rode, I guess, in the passenger seat, but he chose to take his motorcycle. But yeah, we don't get to see, here's phase one of how I think they could do stuff for season 2, because Reki and Langa have that conversation, and I love that Langa thanks him, and they have this little moment where they just stare into each other's eyes longingly, and it's like, oh my God, guys, you're so good. But, and we don't get to see all the way down the board. We just see the top part. So when the fun kicks in, that was so wonderful. I loved that. The fun and fan. I wondered at the time, back in episode 10 or in episode 11, why that was important. And now it makes sense why it was important, because it's the fun and the fan. It all tied back around. That was awesome. But we don't get to hear what they're saying after finals. So they could easily, if they did a season 2, they could do so much stuff. They could do, like, maybe Reki goes to Canada. Maybe they do like a season 2 where they go snowboarding and Langa has to teach Reki to snowboard. Wouldn't that be fun? And then Adam sneaks along and follows Tadashi because he's a creep. I don't know. It would just, I could see them doing that. Or maybe they talk about like different skateboarding maybe there's other tournaments outside of the S. I don't know. But oh my God, this over the top. And the animation in this episode was gorgeous. The blues and the purples, like, it was so over the top and beautiful. But I love this idea that because of the storm, they can't use the factory route, because the factory route has been rained on due to the storm. So they're using these, like, catacombs, these caverns that would be dry because the rain hadn't gotten in there. And I love that it ties back to the very beginning. Like, this is all coming full circle, because Cherry and Joe recognize, like, this was the course we originally started with, but we stopped using it because it was too dangerous. So this is the one that was in the flashback. And I love that, because it's like Adam's storyline has had him going all the way back to the beginning and realizing, it's like he's been, like, slowly going backwards in time. And then it ends with him realizing that Tadashi, how important Tadashi is in his life. But yeah, I love that. The fact that Long has to meet him at the top of this mountain, and he's in this dramatic cloak with this Grim Reaper scythe, and his skateboard is a freaking coffin that expands into, like, a cross. And I love the shot of Tadashi when they're like, he said this is a suitable location for tonight. And he looks so like, Tadashi looks like he's about to roll his eyes like 1,000 times over. Because again, he had to drive this over-the-top flamboyant man to the top of this mountain and drop him off and then be like, what the heck, man? I absolutely love it. And the mask with the skeletal hands, like, oh my god, Langa's just like, what the heck? This outfit and the skateboard with the ribcage and the color scheme is exactly the same as Langa's. It's the blue. He's traded in the reds and blacks that he's been using as Adam for the blue and black. And his color scheme is basically the same as Langa. And I think that's so intriguing because we've made these comparisons of Adam and Langa this whole time of how similar they are. And now in this final episode, they share the same color scheme. And it's like, yeah. And this is also going back because Adam, when he was younger, had the same color scheme as Langa too. So that's very, very, very interesting. So yeah, them both getting in the zone it reminds me so much of Run with the Wind when they have that moment where things like, of course it becomes rainbow. Of course it does. But they both get in the zone and Adam's like, you're just like me and we can be, it reminded me a lot of Peter Pan. It had a very Neverland vibe to it where he was like, just forget everything else. This is our escape. Like we can escape all the bad things that have happened to us. And Langa doesn't understand. He's like, what bad things? Because other than his father dying, he's not really had a lot of like bad things happen to him. Not like Adam has. And so it's like, he's kind of just like, I don't get it. And it's not fun to him anymore to be in that world with Adam. I love how supportive Reki is for Langa throughout this whole thing. I love it. Like, Reki is not jealous. He's not, mad anymore that he's racing Adam. He's just supportive. And that, like, melted my heart. I was like, Reki was so happy for Langa and was rooting him on the entire time. And that was absolutely wonderful. I loved that. This whole skating, I'm watching this episode again, this whole skate match against Adam and Langa was like a final boss battle. It was like there was love hugs, there was the full kiss swing, there was whatever the hell that catacomb cave-in was. It was like everything he could possibly do to throw at Langa, he was throwing at him. And Langa was avoiding it all because as the crowd says, you're both abnormal. I loved it so much. And the animation on their faces, the expressions, the everything. And it was almost for a moment like Adam was like luring Langa in. Like he had this kind of like hypnotic trance state where he was just like, he's like, you can leave this ordinary life. And Langa's like, what ordinary life? And then when he falls off the cliff and is walking down, he's like, he felt empty. And he's like, I felt like this when my dad died. And that's when the board flips and we see the fun. And it's like, oh my God. And oh my gosh, the part where Langa's father, where he has the vision of his dad, and he's like, are you having fun, son? He's like, I am. And it's like, oh, and he has that same love and enthusiasm when he is with Reki, and it's like, it's just like a perfect parallel. And oh my God, when I saw the fun on that board, that was like, piece de resistance. That was just so damn good of all their times. And Reki being so happy for him. And, oh my gosh, I love the idea of him and what he's done for Adam. So Adam has been so, like, distracted and in his own world that when he looks back and sees that Langa isn't there anymore, he's like, oh wait, where'd you go? He's like, Langa-kun. And then where are you? Are you going to disappear from my sight too? And you can tell he's just so angry and mad, and it's all distorted. And he says, you've never existed to begin with. And it's like, dude, it has. It's just been Tadashi this whole time. Leave Langa alone. Don't you get it? He's like, there's no one at my side. And it's like, there's been someone at your side this entire time. His name is Tadashi. And then Langa grabs his hand. He's like, it's no fun going that way. And just slings Adam around for once. And, oh my God, don't drag me back to that insignificant world. And Langa's like, no, Reki taught me how fun skating is, and I'm going to do the same for you. He's like, I was taught myself that skating's fun because you can do it with your friends. And Langa's trying to be nice to you, and he's like, friends are only there to betray you someday. It's like, no. And of course it cuts back to him and Tadashi, and it's like, no, that's not it. And Adam and Tadashi both have that same aspect about like, oh, well, you're a kid, you don't understand. When you grow up, it'll be different. And Langa's like, if you're holding on to those same beliefs from the past, then you're still a kid. Like, you need to grow up too. Like, you have a desire. And Adam's like, no, I don't. And he's like, you do. You have a desire. You want to skate with someone because why have you been trying to get me to skate with you? If you think you're by yourself, then why drag me with you? And then Adam's like, I have no argument for that. And then, yeah, they both hit each other. And it's like, you can't have, what did he say there? I was trying to like backtrack. And then when he punches Langa, Langa's like, you can't have an argument if you don't have someone to argue with either. Like, you can't, it's not a one-way street. You have to have, it takes two to tango, damn it. And he's like, no one understands me. I'm different and misunderstood. And Langa's like, whatever. No, you're not. And I love Langa's move. I love Langa's move is to take the board like a snowboard, and that's how he deflects it. It's like, I love that so much. But here's the thing. For all of Adam's creepiness, and for everything that Adam has done that has been so disturbing, like hitting Cherry, trying to hurt Reki, trying to hurt Langa, for everything, Langa is a freaking saint. A cinnamon roll saint. And he's like, no, wait. He's like, I'm like, skating's fun. Come on, I'm not giving up on you. And he's like, because I know Reki didn't give up on me, I'm not going to give up on you. And the parallels, oh my God, the just the symbolism and the parallels of one, him reaching for the skateboard. He sees Langa handing him the skateboard and instantly recognizes it's just like Tadashi was to him back when they were kids. And he grabs it the same way that he grabbed it back then. And then there's that. There is the mask falling away, the mask cracking. It's like, it's the whole persona shattering. Like, we finally get to see Adam underneath the mask. The only other time we've really seen him like that is when he was arguing with Tadashi way back in episode 8. So the mask comes off and we see him. And some people, I've heard some people comment on Twitter that, not in relation necessarily to this episode, but just like to Tadashi and him in general, people have been like, how does nobody realize that it's Adam and Tadashi, and how do they not recognize him? And it's like Sailor Moon logic. And which, granted, Sailor Moon logic is its own thing. But here's my counter argument to all of that. Do you know what your representative in politics looks like? Because I don't. I'm here in the United States. I don't know what my representative for my state looks like. I couldn't tell you. I don't know their name. I don't know what they look like. I don't keep up with that. I keep up barely with world politics in general. So I don't know. You think all these skateboard fans keep up with their Japanese government and their diet committee members? No. So I'm sure they have no clue who Adam is. Like, he's not the president. Or he's not the delegate. He's just part of a diet committee. Like, he's just a politician. He's like a dime a dozen politician guy, aristocrat. Like, let's be real. So when people are like, well, how did they not recognize him? I'm like, do you know what your state representative looks like and their name? That part is so realistic, and that realism will come into play with Karada here at the end. But I just love that they start racing each other again. And they're taking it so seriously. And I love that animation on Langa's face when he stands up and his hair's blowing. And he kind of has that, like, kind of maniacal smile on his face. Like, Langa gets that kind of, like, wicked smile. Because Langa's a monster, too, as Joe has noted. He's a monster just like Adam. He's just a nice monster. But he gets so, like, competitive and happy that they're racing each other. And he does the same power break move that Joe does on the column, which is amazing. And he's having fun. Langa is having fun racing Adam. Adam is still in Adam mode, thinking that he's going to win. And he's still mad about it all. But I love that Reki's like, he's having lots of fun. It's like, support of Reki is chef kiss. And he's like, insignificant. And it's just like, oh, dude, you don't even know. Langa's so beating you. I will say this. This show has a thing about wanting to animate Adam's butt. There's a lot of tight leather shots in this episode, and I was like, really, show? We get your agenda, absolutely. And this line that Adam says, fun has no useful function whatsoever. He's like, fun's not a function. He's like, if you don't win, you won't be acknowledged. And we're like, we get it, Adam. You won't be loved. We're like, we get it, Adam. Your entire existence has been molded and habitually shaped around the idea that you're not right. If you're not respected and recognized, you won't get love. Your witch aunts have drugged that into your brain, but we're going to drag it out and de-brainwash you, is basically what this is getting at. I do love that animation where it shows Adam's close-up of his face when he says you won't be loved, because he looks so like, he looks young there. He looks like a child, like he's so distraught that Langa just isn't getting what he's, trying to tell him. And when they jump that tree branch and he has that flashback in his head and he realizes that it was Tadashi that was showing him how much fun it was to skate. And then Tadashi's the only one rooting for Adam. He's like, Mr. Inosuke-sama! He's like the only one, and everybody else is rooting for Langa. And oh my god. So I'm rewatching Yuri on Ice right now, because I'm going to be doing a soapbox of it at some point in the future. And I've been rewatching Yuri on Ice, and y'all, that jump of when Langa crosses the finish line, and he looks so happy, and he like leaps off of his board into Reki's arms. That was pretty much the same as when Victor jumped into Yuri's arms. We were just missing one element. But you know what? The jump is fine. I'm okay with it. We're just missing a kiss, but that's okay. I love that he's like, did I win? And Reki's like, of course you won. And then, oh my god. And then everybody comes up and hugs Langa. And Mia's like, I'll call you the hero just for today. And again, Shadow's like, I'm going to get so drunk until I puke. I'm like, dude, Shadow, you and Cherry should probably not be consuming alcohol if you've got concussions. If your head's still bandaged, you don't need to be drinking. But they all just hug Langa. And then Adam walking away. And then it's just Adam and Tadashi. And oh my gosh! And for a second, when he walks past Tadashi, you can just see Tadashi deflate. He's like, "Yeah." And then that's when he stops, saying, "I thought I'd gotten rid of it long ago." And then it's like, "I thought I got rid of it." And then Tadashi, of course, turns back. And, oh, come on now. And of course it's not going to stop on me. And then he's like, you taught me the fun of skating. And it's like that little acknowledgement. I love it so much. And Tadashi's face where he's like, did you say something to me? It's like, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. And then we have this after credit scene. And then it cuts to the credits. And I wanted to... let me try to sound like... Yeah. But Langa taught me like you did to me. And Tadashi's like, oh my god, really? You recognize me? You're acknowledging me, senpai? And so, okay, this after credit scene where... Well, we'll get to the after credits of Tadashi, but this in credits is amazing. And I wanted to go through it because I was... Oh god. My sound keeps turning on. I want to go through this because there was so much happening. It feels like the end scene of Run with the Wind, where it's like the epilogue, and there's all this stuff happening. I want to go through it because I was like, what? So everybody there, it's on the rooftop of Dope Sketch, which is awesome. I paused this thing here. So we got pizza, and it's Italian food, so obviously Joe's catering. So we have Mia and Reki eating the pizza, and then Joe's got, and Langa's like there with the food, so we got like spaghetti and stuff, and oh, Shadow's over there trying to give Oka a flower, like Oka a plant. Oh, we'll talk about Shadow in a minute. That broke my heart. But yeah, so we got that. Carla, Sketchy is sleeping on top of Carla, and Cherry's super pissed about it, and I love it, and Oka's like, oh my god, no. Okay, we've established that Langa likes to eat. You don't mess with Langa while he's eating. And he has this giant burger that he's sitting there eating, and Reki's like, how can you still be eating? And it looks like, so Langa has a birthday party hat on. Is it Langa's birthday? Is that why he has the hat on? And then, of course, Adam jumps out of the love helicopter with the parachute. And everybody's like, oh my god. And I love that everyone jumps out of the way, but Reki stays by Langa's side with his arms wrapped around him like, I like stay away from my friend. And then Adam, of course, has the flowers. He jumps down. And oh my god, I want a gif of this, where as he's getting closer, Langa's like, he just keeps eating the food. He just keeps eating the food even more. I'm like, yes, please. I love these, like, challenge accepted. And then Tadashi's in the helicopter like, that's my bae. Just being dramatic and over the top. And we see Langa talking to his dad at his grave, and the mom being so like happy about Langa, and Reki teaching his sisters to skateboard, and of course they're practicing, and then of course the elder sister, she's got the moves, and Reki's like, and the sister's like, oh my god, yes. Shadow, they did Shadow dirty. They did Shadow so dirty in this. How dare they? He finally gets up the nerve to give the tulips and to ask the manager out. And she has someone she's in a relationship with. Oh. So that begs the question. Is he going to like go after Oka now? Wait, oh my god. Is Shadow pansexual and he's just really into managers? Is that it? Could that be it? Could be. Oh, I felt so bad for Shadow. And yeah, he like cries in there. And then Joe. I like that Joe's still wooing those girls, but then he sees the calligraphy signing, and the girls are all excited by their calligraphy, but to little Kojiro, dimwit. To little Kojiro. And Cherry's like, they're practically married, let's be real. I absolutely love it. And then he like paints over his face. And then we don't get to see what Mia's friend says to him, but when Mia's friend walks by, he says something. So I wonder if it was like, hey, what's up? Or nice going, or like, what's up, slime? Or something like that. Whatever he said to him, Mia was happy with it. Like, it was Mia's chance of reconciling with his friends. And I love that for Mia. I love that Mia gets that chance to like have some reconciliation with his friends, because it's cool that he hangs out with Langa and them, but I like that Mia can go back to people his own age and have friends there too. Like, that's really cool. And then we get this after credit scene, and they transferred Kurata away. They transferred her to Tokyo as a promotion, and she's like, I'm not done with my investigation. And they're like, that's outside your jurisdiction now, so don't lay a finger on Shindo. Like, just shut her down. And this is a small repayment for you leaking that information about Takano. And so, yeah, Adam sold him out. Adam sold the Takano guy out completely, just so he could save his skin. And it looks like we'll be able to forge a wonderful relationship. Ha. And then okay, well, first of all, that's very believable. The idea of a politician selling out another politician to save their skin, totally believable. That makes sense. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, Adam should have gone to jail. But I'm like, this is very realistic, surprisingly. Like, him selling out and getting that woman transferred so she couldn't investigate him, that checks out. That seems pretty legit with real life. So, okay. But then we have Tadashi. I've noticed that in this episode, Tadashi, it's been the most expressive we've ever seen Tadashi. The whole show is this episode, because he seems so concerned in this moment. He's like, you sold Mr. Takano out. And then Adam's like, yeah, with him gone, I'm basically in control. So, had to do what I had to do. And, like, Tadashi's like, well, you could have been charged with perjury. And he's like, well, it'd be too suspicious if I didn't take on a little heat for myself. And then when you said I had to take the blame, and then there's this line, oh my god, did you think I would release you from your collar? you are my dog for the rest of our lives, for the rest of our lives. And this is the part that got me, was that he didn't say you're my dog for the rest of your life, but he says our lives, like it's like a term of endearment. And the way he looks at Tadashi, and then Tadashi being like, and then that blush, and then, yeah. Oh my. And that's what we end on. Because of course that's what we end on. Because this whole series it's been Joe and Cherry's story, Reki and Langa, and Adam and Tadashi. And I don't know, I talked about this back in episode 10, I'm pretty sure, yeah, in episode 10, that I'm sure people are going to be like, what the heck about the whole dog thing, but it's like a dominating submissive relationship. It's like what they call it, pet play. I think that's what they call it. It checks out with Adam and Tadashi's relationship, that's just how they are with each other. And the whole our lives thing is what made me go, okay, Adam is like, it's going to be me and you, Tadashi. And that's what Tadashi wanted. Tadashi has been working for Adam with the hopes of being acknowledged, and being acknowledged as being able to stay by Adam's side. Because that's what Tadashi's been worried about this entire series, is Adam going to jail and, him not getting to see him again or work for him or be with him. And so when Adam says, no, you're going to be my secretary, my assistant for the rest of our lives, Tadashi's like, that's all he wanted. We don't have the wedding subplot. So I'm like, if we did a sequel series, if they did a sequel to this series, they could go a lot of different ways. They could do a sequel where because we didn't find out what Reki and Langa were going to do after finals. The whole thing with Hiromi and the manager, and that whole subplot, like now that she has a boyfriend, like what we're going to do with that. Like they could explore that. Like maybe Hiromi tries to like win her back, or maybe, I don't know. I don't like the subplot of winning someone over while they're in a relationship with someone. I'm not crazy about the homewrecker storyline. I don't like that. But maybe she gets dumped by the guy, and then Hiromi cheers her up. Or maybe Hiromi's like, well, fine, if I can't have one manager, I'll go after the other one, and goes after Oka. I don't know. But you could do something like that. You could do the whole marriage subplot with Adam and the aunts, because we don't get any resolution with the aunts. Like, part of me wanted Adam to just like tell the aunts to shove it, and so that storyline would be fun. If something like, let's say they like think that Tadashi's being too involved in Adam's life, and they try to transfer him out to another household or fire him, like something like that. Or I'm just saying, we didn't get enough Cherry and Joe this series. We could totally do a prequel season where we do Cherry and Joe and Adam and Tadashi in high school, and then cut to them, because we've had all this setup of Joe and Cherry going on trips internationally together and vacations, so we could have like that interwoven, and it could all tie into right when this season starts. Like, you could do a lot with this, but that felt satisfying, but I want more. But I want more. That's the problem. This series has been such a breath of fresh air. It's been so much fun, and I've really, really, really enjoyed it, and I just want it to keep going. I don't think that's a lot to ask. So I really hope that they do a sequel, a season 2. I think that they could still do a lot with it, because we could still have, like, they hinted earlier about the Olympics, things like that. Like, if Langa decides to become a serious skateboarder, there could be something with that. I mean, you've got lots of options. And they could dabble in the snowboarding angle, like maybe they all road trip to Canada. I don't know. It could be a lot of fun. I think whatever they decide to do with it. But I think this series deserves more. If for some reason we don't get more, which would be really sad, I feel like this concluded open enough that the fandom can make lots of spin-off ideas and fan fiction and fan art and theories about things going down. Like, it was open book enough that if it did end, there's still more the fans could do with it. But I hope they continue it, because I'd really like to watch a season 2 of this. Like, this was so much fun from start to finish. Like, the soundtrack this episode, the songs that were playing during Adam and Longa's beef, like, that was so good. And the ending, and I just... I cannot wait for the dub. The dub of this is going to be amazing. I cannot wait. I'm so so excited. I'm so excited. And I just found out that Tadashi and Octagawa share a voice actor for Bungo Stray Dogs. They have the same voice actor. Like, what the heck? Oh my god. It's so fitting. Of course it is. But yeah, so I don't know yet as I'm recording this. I don't know yet what show is replacing Skate the Infinity. I'm pretty excited by our choices, but I don't know what's going to replace it. But I am excited for whatever show I watch next. Next week, there will be the Cindereki Audio Drama on here. And then, like I said, I want to do a live stream, so just kind of stay up to date on when that's going to air. I'm going to put it in the description or a community post when that's going to be, because I want to talk with you all about Skate the Infinity a little bit more, because I think it deserves it, absolutely. But yeah, next week is going to be the Cindereki drama, and then yeah, it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. This show has been so much fun, and I've really enjoyed watching it. I hope you guys have enjoyed these reactions too, because I've enjoyed discussing this show. There's so much symbolism and so much allegories and metaphors, everything, that I feel like it's one of these shows that I feel like I'm going to go back and rewatch and notice something every time. Every time something is going to pop out, I'm going to be like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And so, and these boys, Reki and Langa, like the biggest cinnamon buns, Tadashi and Adam and their weird shit, and then Joe and Cherry and being an old married couple practically. It's just, I'd really like for if we did a future series, if we did a season that was in the future, wouldn't that be funny if like Mia, after they go on summer break, and let's say that let's say we have an adventure of Langa and Reki go to Canada, and they like go for the summer, and they meet other snowboarders, and there's all shenanigans with that, and that's all fun, and meanwhile we see what Joe and Cherry are up to, and we see what Adam and Tadashi are up to in Shadow, like all that's there. And then when they come back, Mia's like grown a foot, and he's like in high school now, and he's like grown up. Like, that'd be so fun. You guys, I'm curious to know what you all thought of this episode. I really liked it. I thought that was a great way to end the season. It was so over the top, dramatic, but it had the Nakama, the power of the feels, the friendship, and then it all tied back around. Like, everything came full circle and ended with a happy ending. And I really love that. So, we shall see. They can even do an OVA. Skate team, OVAs, let's do this. So, in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. Thank you for watching Skate the Infinity with me. Thank you for voting for the show. And come back next week. We'll do the Cindereki audio drama. Oh, I've had this saved for a long time, so I can't wait. But in the meantime, have a good week, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.